What if I told you that the biggest obstacle in your life isn't your circumstances? It isn't your past. It isn't your lack of money. It isn't even other people. It's your own mind. Every day, thousands of people wake up with goals. They want to change. They want to become disciplined. They want to improve their life. But by the end of the day, they've done nothing. Not because they didn't want it badly enough, because their mind convinced them not to act. And that's the terrifying part. Most people think they control their mind. But the truth is, their mind is controlling them. And until that changes, nothing else will. Every person has a voice inside their head. A voice that speaks when nobody else is around. A voice that comments on everything. Sometimes it encourages you, but often it limits you. It tells you you're not ready. It tells you to wait. It tells you to stay comfortable. It tells you to avoid risk. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin listening. That's how people become trapped. Not by chains, not by walls, by thoughts. The problem is that most people never question those thoughts. They assume every thought is true. Every fear is real. Every doubt is accurate. But your mind is not always telling you the truth. Sometimes it's simply trying to protect you from discomfort. And protection often looks a lot like self-sabotage. Your brain was designed to keep you safe, not successful. Safe. And that's a huge difference. Because success often requires risk. Growth requires uncertainty. Transformation requires discomfort. But your mind hates discomfort. It prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar growth. That's why people stay in situations they hate, jobs they hate, habits they hate, routines they hate. Because familiar suffering feels safer than change. Think about that. Many people are not trapped by reality. They're trapped by what their mind believes is safe. And every time you choose comfort over growth, your mind becomes stronger, while your potential becomes weaker. The most dangerous prison in the world has no bars, no guards, no locked doors. It's the prison inside your own mind. The prison built from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. And because of those fears, people shrink their dreams. They stop trying. They stop believing. They stop becoming who they were meant to be. The saddest part? Most of them never realize they're trapped. Because the prison feels normal. It feels familiar. It feels safe. But safety is not the same thing as freedom. Freedom begins when you stop allowing fear to make your decisions. Every day, a battle is taking place inside your mind. Most people never notice it, but it's there. The battle between who you are and who you could become. One voice says, stay where you are. The other says, grow. One voice says, do it tomorrow. The other says, start today. One voice wants comfort. The other wants progress. And whichever voice you feed becomes stronger. That's why your daily actions matter. Because every action is a vote. A vote for discipline, or a vote for distraction. A vote for growth, or a vote for comfort. You become what you repeatedly choose. Most people wait until they feel motivated. That's why most people stay stuck. Because motivation is unreliable. Some days it's there, some days it isn't. If your life depends on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Real change begins when you stop obeying your feelings and start obeying your decisions. When you decide to work even when you don't feel like it. When you decide to wake up even when you're tired. When you decide to continue even when it's difficult. That's how control is built. Not through motivation, through discipline. Discipline is what teaches your mind that feelings are temporary, but your actions define your future. And once your mind realizes you're serious, everything starts changing. Slowly, then, suddenly. There comes a moment in every transformation. A moment when you stop believing every thought. A moment when you realize just because your mind says something doesn't make it true. Your fear isn't always reality. Your doubt isn't always wisdom. Your excuses aren't always valid. And once you understand that, you stop being controlled by your thoughts. You begin observing them instead. You stop reacting automatically. You stop living on autopilot. You become intentional. You become aware. You become stronger. Because awareness creates choice, and choice creates freedom. The truth is, your life will always move in the direction of your strongest thoughts. That's why protecting your mind matters. Because if you allow fear to control your thinking, fear will control your future. If you allow excuses to control your thinking, excuses will control your life. And if you allow comfort to control your thinking, comfort will destroy your potential. The greatest victories in life are rarely external, they're internal. The battle you win inside your mind eventually becomes the life you build outside of it. So stop believing every thought. Stop obeying every emotion. Stop allowing your fears to make your decisions. Because your mind is a powerful servant, but a dangerous master. And the day you learn to control it is the day your life truly begins. Your future is waiting. Your potential is waiting. The person you're capable of becoming is waiting. The question is, will you continue letting your mind control you, or will you finally take control of it?